Welcome to the Prince William-Manassas Regional Jail Board meeting. Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for coming. Agenda, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Kostelecki?
Here.
Mr. Austin?
Here.
Reverend Bailey is absent. Ms. Clymer? Here. Ms. Guzman is absent. Sheriff Hill?
Here.
Chief Keen?
Here.
Ms. Lennox? Here. Mr. Phelps?
Here.
Ms. Smith is absent. And Mr. Torres?
Here.
We have a quorum, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Public comments, we have one person, Mrs. Carol Noble. Yes, you're from the League of Women Voters?
I am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Welcome, please.
Yes, thank you very much. The League of Women Voters has in the past been able to come when we had community events so that lots of community groups could offer whatever they have to the inmates. So it's been a long time. But we also work with the Reentry Council. And so next week they have a meeting with those for families orientation and those who have been recently released. So we're active with that and trying to provide for voter registration for those who are eligible, and also talk about the restoration of rights and ban the box. That's important. Seems to be important for getting employment. So we're well aware of those issues. So there's no delegates and senators here tonight, as you can surely know why. So they have to get up early tomorrow morning in Richmond and pass the laws. So I just wanted to get connected again so that we can have maybe some ways to work together. And as you know, there's a big election coming up with just about everything on the ballot, right? So we try to educate everybody on being what that is and to be prepared. So it's just been a long time, and I just wanted to be sure that we could stay connected.
Well, thank you, and thank you for what you do for our inmate population as well. Do you have a contact person here?
Not right now.
All right. Our contact person here would be Captain West.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
We've seen each other before.
Yes.
Yeah. She's been here several times to some of our resource fairs.
Right.
They've been really supportive of all the inmates, trying to educate them on their voting rights and stuff. So thank you, Carol.
And we have actually registered somebody to absentee, and which is convenient because the election office is right close by. We can take their form right over and get them registered, ready to go.
Thank you. Anyone on the board may have a question for Ms. Knowles? All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Knowles. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. I will say one thing.
Right.
I have tried to attend the meeting on YouTube, and the sound is not good. I think it's because people aren't close to wherever the microphone is. It's very difficult to hear.
Thank you. Can I get approval of the agenda for January the 18th, 2023?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right. Second.
I'll second that.
All right. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Can I get approval to approve the minutes of the regular meeting that was held on November 16th, 2022? Second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, thank you. Superintendent, report, please.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. Good to see everyone. We can go over to page 11. Of course, our two top section, the very top section is our operational capacity of 871. That's one cell, one inmate, and management capacity of 1320. We've talked about that before. That's complete double bunking. Next section, average inmate daily population for FY23 so far of 453. And the next section down, average daily population for the past 12 months, 512. somewhat of an uptick there. Transfers to state system, only one has been transferred in the last 2 months. No, I'm sorry. We have one out of compliance here for DOC. November 9 were sent to DOC. December was 6. Commits 538 in November and 545 in December. Releases 565 in November and 560 in December. Process only by ADC staff and released by the magistrate, 83 in November and 68 in December. Both months, more releases than commits. And we can go over to the next page. The average daily population for the complex in November was 472, with a high count of 489 on November 13th. Over on December, 444 was the average daily population here on the complex, high count of 455, December 5th. Page 14, of course, we keep track of all our history here. You can see the 6 months FY 2023 up top of 453. Our very highest count system-wide was 1131 FY 2015. All right, go over to the objectives. Implement strategies to increase recruitment and hiring. We have implemented some here lately, and I think they can be very beneficial to the staff as we go along. First of all, our HR division has been to several job fairs. November 3rd, Quantico Career Fair. November 10th, Veterans Job Fair at FedEx Field in Maryland. And January 10th, Nova Law Expo, Herndon, advertising in 16 websites. And I've got some real good news to let you all know, and the staff is very excited about it. I've got some information to give you. During our annual budget process meeting, previous county exec Elijah Johnson back in November and county budget staff, we discussed our current vacancy issue and several initiatives which enhance recruitment and retention at the ADC. Regional jails are not included in the GAP Act, which is a legislative bill several years ago, which allows sheriff-operated jails working the 28-day cycle, and that's what most jails do, to receive overtime beginning with the first hour of an hour worked overtime. Regional jail officers only receive overtime after working 11 hours straight time in the 28-day cycle. Our request to the county exec was to pay the security shift staff procedures of sheriff-run jails. Also request that the enhancement of our holiday pay, because the security shifts are working on holidays and sometimes they're off on holidays, to go ahead and pay all of them scheduled on a holiday and also scheduled off their next pay when they come back to work, where they would receive the holiday pay. This went in front of the Board of County Supervisors. These initiatives were approved, as well as a $5,000 bonus for newly hired jail officers. And we'll want to do that. We would give half when hired, and then the other half right around when they're done with the academy, which is about a year later. The county is currently conducting a comp study. We're hopeful ADC staff salaries will increase. We still have a lot of vacancies here that I'll talk about in a minute. But I think there's a very hopeful thing here that I think is going to definitely help the staff and hopefully help our retention too. Any questions about that?
What do you think the time trajectory is when this is going to
It's already in place. It's already in place. Yes, yes, ma'am. Carol and her staff are very instrumental in putting this together with all the money and everything else that goes with it that we had to present. And, the county exec was him and I have talked about this before. And with the number of vacancies, for example, now we're at 96 total vacancies, 86 sworn, 10 vacant for authorized position of 433. So we hope this will. Also, the night differential has gone up the county. We had nothing to do with that, but it's been 70 cents for years, and they raised it up to $1. So that's a little bit more there. Prison Rape Elimination Act, we have our inspection on March 6th, 7th, and 8th. The annual PREA report is in your package. It's put together by our Office of Professional Standards, who do IA cases and compliance here. The report came out very well as far as sexual assaults or those kind of things. We had one inmate on inmate that was unsubstantiated. The other two were unfounded. Sexual assault outcomes, staff on inmates, they were all unfounded. So the police do get involved at times with these, certainly if a crime is committed. But staff doing a great job. And that's going to be our 3-year inspection. So the gentleman will come in. He was here the last go around, and they go through the place with, it's a very stringent inspection. And so we'll see how it all goes, but I'm sure it's going to go very well. All right, career development. 7 staff completed crisis intervention training. We have right now 104 staff that are CIT certified. 18 staff attended general instructor recertification. 6 staff completed supervisor in service. Sergeant Hannah Baker, Sergeant Justin Batkins, MJO Marco Barnes, and MJO Pablo Alvarado completed a 16-hour peer support training, which assists staff in crisis. So that's very important. The main building is we're still working with the county on this pipe replacement. It's been dragging along over time. It's going to have to go out to bid. We're lucky because we have half the building open to house the maximum security over there in the cell blocks, 2nd and 3rd floor. So I'll keep you all in touch, but hopefully that'll be coming up. It's going to take several months before this thing gets going. Evidence-based decision-making team. Since 10/19, 716 boxes of Narcan have been given to inmates upon release. The drug court is up and running, currently in the pilot phase. And COVID, after the holidays, we had a big increase. We had, 16 staff came up positive. That's about half a shift and 50 inmates. We're now down to 5 staff and 2 exposures and 3 inmates. So we're through that again. It comes and goes, but it seems after big events and holidays, we get that. If you're at the back of your package, all the way in the back, we have the last 2 certificates. We do Employee of the Quarter here for exemplary conduct, and this was the Employee of the Quarter for July-September 2022. First Sergeant Cothran, Certificate of Special Recognition for when she responded to a trustee inmate's comment about an issue inside of a cell. First Sergeant Cothran discovered an inmate that was actively trying to kill himself. Her swift response to a serious life-threatening situation resulted in the inmate's life being saved. And Master Jail Officer Chan awarded same situation when he assisted First Sergeant Cothran with an inmate that was actively trying to kill himself. Your swift response to a serious life-threatening situation resulted in the inmate's life being saved. So Congratulations to them. They did a great job. Particular day. Let's see. Okay. We've talked about assaults here over time, and as the population has changed, we've had numbers increase in the inmate on staff. We had someone try to break a female officer's arm through the food slot and so forth. Thank God she wasn't hurt. She went to the hospital and just sore. But I've showed you this list before. This is our security list. All these people, when they come out, there has to be several officers there, and they got to be, especially in this building, they got to be walked to the shower, and then they have a few hours of rec there. But this is very time consuming. And when we talk about staffing ratios, 5 for post, I mean, we're pulling people off post to do these kind of things every day. So, it's been one of those years. We've had several hospitalizations. We've had surgery or two. And, we just constantly, when we go to these roll calls and constantly talk to the staff, to just, they've got to be aware of everything. And even when you are aware, sometimes, they're dealing with people here, non-capital, second-degree murder, so forth and so on, possession of weapons, assaults doing staff, unpredictable behavior is a very big one, possession of weapons, previous incarceration, assault on staff, possession of a weapon, staff threw liquid on a staff member, previous assault on law enforcement officer, assault on staff, assault, refused to obey an order, possession of a weapon, previous incarceration, assault on staff, and so forth and so on. So I just want to make you aware. I mean, this is what they deal with every day. And they do a great job. I mean, they don't flinch, that's for sure. They do a great job. I contribute a lot of that to the hiring process, and also we are one of the only jails in regional jails in Virginia that does our own training here. We have certified trainers, and we're partners with Prince William Academy, so that is a big plus for us too. That's all I have, Sheriff.
Thank you, Superintendent. Any question for the Superintendent?
Yes, let me ask one more question about the last topic. Do you have a sense with the mental health crisis we've had this last year, like how much higher your seriously mentally ill population
There's
is?
quite a few inmates in here that are mentally ill. Not all of them are locked in a cell.
Yep.
But they can be in a day room and they come out. In fact, the one good thing about the new building has a mental health unit for the very seriously mentally ill, and that's a big plus. And we have 2 officers in there, and our mental health staff work out of there too. Mm-hmm. So I think that's been a big plus for us. But someone gets arrested, we may not know they're mentally ill until they get in here, and then all of a sudden they're dealing with them.
And with the hospitals closing for a while last year, I mean, there were you have to have had a significant uptick in. They weren't getting taken to.
It does take a longer time to get them down there. Yeah, that's for sure. So we work with it, and we just keep reminding the staff about always be cautious. And if they have to go in, if they have a weapon, then they know what to do and they know how to get it.
Well, there's a lot of lobbying going on right now around the crisis receiving centers, for example, both here locally in the county and also in the state budget. And so I'm going to be part of some of that lobbying. I'm just trying to think of how we correlate the kind of challenges you've got with the population you've got with the fact that the mental health crisis that we're experiencing statewide needs funding to try to divert some of this.
And when you take a list like this, I mean, our inmate population is like 433, and you get a whole page full.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Chief?
Colonel, with the GAP program and the state of how they treat us differently or you differently, Have we pursued that through the General Assembly and sat down with our local elected senator and delegates to see if we can get that changed? So
Well-
you're classified differently?
Well, yeah, that's a possibility, but basically we're doing it on our own because we felt we needed to. And,
But does that open you up for more state funds if they change and put you in the same category?
I'm not
No.
sure on that. But
Okay.
I'm not sure.
If there's no benefit there, then as long as you're getting it,
What do you
that's
think?
the important
What do you
thing.
think, Sheriff?
There's no state benefit. The only thing that is our county is approved us to do it. We can do it. So,
Good.
right.
That's the most important thing is
Right.
getting you reclassified
Just
at the
include
local
us in
level.
it, right.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
All right, thank you. Any other questions for Superintendent? All right, thank you, Superintendent.
You're welcome.
Harold again, our budget update.
Yes,
Give us good news, give us good news.
good news.
All right.
The front page here, we have, it seems we've settled around 2.4 million in our, the bank account for the commissary account, which is a very generous amount. And that includes the budget that we have this year. The budget is moving forward. We are seeing some movement on some of our items. Again, I think we're doing a little bit better on spending some of the funds as we move through COVID. It's just been difficult. But nothing really to report here unless anyone has questions.
How about SCAP money? We get any SCAP money?
Oh, yes.
Okay, talk a little bit about the SCAP money.
That's on the revenue page. If you want to go ahead and move to that page, which is the back page of the pages that we have. I'm sorry, it is not the back page. It's the third page. We received $748,536, which is quite a bit, and was very unexpected. We submitted our data as we do every year. I think the pot was a little bit larger. The pool of people that applied for it was a little bit smaller. And so you do somewhat get a portion depending upon those things. It's not a straight per diem that you receive. We looked through it to make sure everything was in order, and everything is in order. What we have a $200,000 budget normally per the county grant policy, because that's considered a grant award. We will have to adjust our budget, and so that won't be a benefit to us as far as extra funding. But so we will adjust our $200,000 budget to the 748. But we did receive quite a generous amount of SCAP money this year.
Yeah, could you talk a little bit, make sure all the board members are up to date on what the SCAP is?
Yes, SCAP has been, I think it goes back on my computer to the year 2000. So we've been submitting for that for quite some time. It is federal money that is provided to the local jurisdictions to help defray the cost of housing undocumented people in the jails. So they determine, we provide information, we provide, if they do have an immigration number, we provide that. We provide all their demographic and charge information, and they determine if they're eligible. For instance, if someone, obviously they determine if they are a citizen or have legal status, then they would not be eligible. But for those people that are eligible, we receive a portion of the funding that has been set aside for that year. So this is more in line with the amounts that we used to get quite a long time ago. It has been around the $200,000 mark in the last few years, so this was quite a big surprise. But I think there are quite a few less people submitting for the funding.
And is this number combined both county and the city? Because we put in for that as well.
No, so this is just the county's portion. So the city receives their portion separately because the federal government does not see us as a
Correct.
as a jurisdiction, so we do that separately.
All right,
So
thank you, thank you.
that's quite a bit. The other note I would make about revenue is that the city's revenue is up considerably. The percentage right now for the year end is 14.6, which is quite high. We were up over 16% in December. The prisoner days for the city have gone up, and the prisoner days for the county have gone down. So, for whatever
We all
reason.
need to do a
So.
better job. It's gonna hurt my budget. Daryl, that's not the answer I was looking for.
You still have 6 months to pull that. And that's all I have unless anyone
Thank
has
you.
any
Any
questions.
questions for Carol concerning the budget update? All right. Thank you, Carol. Your board members' comments. I'll start with Ms. Clammer. Ms. Clammer, any comments from you today?
I don't believe so. I was just going to ask though for the definition of the acronym.
State Criminal Alien Assistance Program.
No, I don't have anything to share.
All right.
I hope everyone has nice holidays and
Thank you. Thank you. Chief?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Ms. Austin?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Mr. Koskaleski?
I can't do better than Ms. Clymer. I can't top that.
All right, thank you. Ms. Torres?
Happy New Year to you all, and that's it.
Next.
The public defender's recently been communicating with the Adult Detention Center about a program that we're launching to gather reading material for the inmates here, including lots of foreign language, Spanish language predominantly, but lots of sort of trade books that there's not a wide variety of stuff here right now, and our mitigation department has undertaken to reach out community-wide, so it'll be a county-wide project. There's going to be involvement from the East End and from West End and every place in between, and we hope that at the end of it, there's going to be a huge influx of appropriate material that the jail will accept in probably March or April. I'll report back to you in March how successful this is going, but we're excited about it because there has been some years and years ago, it was very difficult to get reading material in, and the Adult Detention Center staff has been awesome with us in putting this program together going forward. So we're excited about it. We'll let you know in March how it's going.
All right, thank you.
That's great.
The only comment I have, Mr. Superintendent, please extend our appreciation to your staff for all the good work that they do. Certainly every month I look at the assaults because that's something that gets my attention, and I realize the danger of working in the facility. So please extend our appreciation to the staff.
No problem.
Thank you. All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion to adjourn, sir.
Second.
Second?
She said,
Second, all right. Any questions? All in favor?
aye.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Quick with the motion.
I'm sending your